From 1 in a million goals, a player not being able to hold a number 2 mid-match, and even a stadium that breaks during a game?
Scenes of chaos and confusion followed and the match was abandoned.
These are the most ridiculous moments in football history.
Ibrahimovic, surely not. Oh!
And we're starting with one of the craziest goals in football history. 30 yards, my friend. Zlatan Ibrahimovic did that from 30 yards. That's such a ridiculous shot to take in the first place. And to think that he scored it? Incredible.
But I put Sweden on the map, so...
Just like his 500th goal. Zlatan is the only one who can score a goal with a roundhouse taekwondo kick and act like it's just a regular Tuesday. Well, LA Galaxy was losing, but there's no way any normal striker would score that without some reaction. That's just ridiculous. But at least it was a scientifically possible goal. Not like Messi's goal, which even science can't explain. If only Messi knew what he did at that time, he would definitely have celebrated a lot more than he did. Imagine scoring a goal so phenomenal that every sports scientist, physics expert, and sports analyst can't explain it. Yeah, the 8 Ballon d'Ors are definitely deserved.
If Messi's point of contact on the ball shifted left or right by just 1.5 millimeters, he misses. That's a margin of error about the width of a blade of grass.
Even if Messi scored the kind of goal that Tottenham scored in the 2019 Champions League, this is the most chaotic goal ever scored in the Champions League. What a riot! At least it went in normally. But the next one? Now, that was just utterly ridiculous. Yeah, I'm as confused as you are. Normally, referees inspect the goal nets before they blow the kickoff whistle. The referee for that match did just that. Somehow, he missed that spot. And Stefan Kiesling scored the strangest goal in football history. You can see how even his teammates were surprised at how it went in. The goal stood anyway, just like this next one did. Darren Bent scored 212 goals in his career, but many would argue that it was just 211 and a half. And that's because of this goal. Now, this would have been pretty annoying for the Liverpool fans because the beach ball was as visible as day. The referee could have stopped the match to get it off the pitch too, but no. He let the play go on, and Darren Bent, who was a pretty solid striker in his day by the way, went on to score a goal that would have been pretty amazing on its own with the help of a foreign object. No wonder Jamie Carragher was annoyed in the media area. Utterly ridiculous. Now, imagine how Wenger felt after Thierry Henry and Robert Pires tried to pull this stunt in a Premier League game. What? How did Robert Pires ruin that? It was just a simple pass, and then Thierry Henry would smash the ball into the back of the net.
What happened? I don't know.
This would have become the coolest penalty ever, and Messi's attempt would have been a copy. To cleanse our eyes and minds, let's take a look at how to take that kind of penalty.
Lays it off, and it's a hat-trick for Suarez! Fantastic!
Isn't that amazing? You know what's not amazing? A player pooping himself. And not just any player, but 1980s and 1990s superstar Gary Lineker. What you just saw was a moment of utter ridiculousness that could only happen in football. The man fell after a challenge and pooped himself after falling. Next thing, he's wiping himself on the grass like an animal. You know what the craziest thing was? He continued playing like that, with poop all over his bum. That is hectic. Maybe that's how this African referee felt when he ended an African Cup of Nations game early just to get out of the pitch. AFCON referee Jenny Sikazwi was feeling the heat in Cameroon during the Tunisia vs Mali game in the 2021 AFCON. He wanted to pee. He wanted to poop. He was feeling serious bowel movements. The heat was getting to him. His vision became blurry. He became lightheaded. And when he could not take it anymore, he ended the match in the 89th minute. There was a riot. Both benches trooped out of the pitch. They weren't going to let him go. The match had to be restarted, but the man still ended the game because the additional time was up. I can imagine how uncomfortable he must have been. But that was just ridiculous. Still not as ridiculous as the Nigerian referee who went into a broadcast room to confirm a goal when the league has no VAR. Now, the jury's still out on whether that was a goal or not, but the referee actually bowed to the pressure from the fans, went into the broadcast room to watch the replay, and came back to the pitch to award the goal. Maybe this is what will make the Nigerian league invest in VAR, because this was utterly ridiculous. I wonder what this referee would have done if he officiated the famous Kepa match. Yeah, that same match that Kepa Arrizabalaga refused to come off of after his coach, Maurizio Sarri, wanted to sub him off. I wonder what Kepa was on that day. And the worst thing is that Chelsea lost that game because of his stubbornness. Insane. And then there was Ronaldo, who flat out refused to come on. The story goes that Erik ten Hag asked the great Cristiano Ronaldo to go warm up in the 90th minute. It's one thing to not play him in a game, but to ask him to warm up in the 90th minute, now that is disrespectful. But I think Ronaldo didn't handle that well either, because the coach is the boss. Two massive egos collided to create one of the most ridiculous moments in football history. Another Manchester United feature in our collection of the most ridiculous football moments. This time around, it was Louis van Gaal, who is notorious for his brutally honest takes, even if he turns out to be wrong. Check this out. What a drama queen, am I right? Van Gaal was trying to get Mike Dean to see what the officiating referee did wrong. But why did he have to dive like that? Funny old man. Thankfully, he didn't collapse. Like a stand in the Maracana Stadium did in 1992. The 1992 Campeonato Brasileiro Serie A match between Botafogo and Flamengo was one of the biggest in Brazil. More than 150,000 fans came to the Maracana, the world's biggest football stadium. They cheered, danced, and sang songs as the game went on. It was like a fiesta or a Brazilian carnival. Everything was going so well until disaster struck. An upper stand of the stadium collapsed, sending over 100 fans plummeting to the ground from over 25 feet. 3 spectators died, 50 were seriously injured. But you know what was ridiculous about this? The game went on. No stoppages, no breaks, the referee and the players didn't care. And the rest of the fans continued cheering. Brazil's government reduced the capacity of the Maracana after that, and now less than 80,000 fans can watch the football at the iconic stadium. Fortunately, no one was hurt when a stand at the Gofferstadion, home of the Eredivisie side NEC Nijmegen, collapsed. So fans of Vitesse Arnhem who came to watch their team play were celebrating after an away win in 2021. They were jumping, singing, and dancing. If only they knew the ground beneath them was weak. As the intensity of their jumps and celebrations increased, the stand gave way. The concrete slab broke in half, and fans were left dangling dangerously from more than 12 feet up in the air. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the whole stadium panicked. Who knows? Maybe the game would have gone on just like the one in 1992. It's really ridiculous that football stadium managers can't check the safety of their stadiums. What's next? The Jumbo TV falling from the sky? I wouldn't be surprised if this actually did happen with some of the superfans we have out there. Seriously, we're glad no one was hurt in that. Football's had too many disasters in its history. It's also had its share of crazy moments, and back to superfans, I guess Mexico has some of the craziest ones, as one time the fans were celebrating so crazily that it actually triggered an earthquake. You guys gotta see what ends up happening. Click on the video on the screen now to see this absolutely ridiculous moment.